All right, guys, we are live. It is Wednesday, and as you can see, I am not in my normal studio, but Peter, you are.
I am.
You are in your
No,
normal
good
place. I
old
love it.
office.
I love it. And we're going to do this. So, we've got some fun things planned today, you guys. It's great to see you here. Shout out to Crystal, Gisela, Suzanne, Pat, Carol.
Yeah.
Glad that you're here. Glad that
Welcome,
you're here.
everybody. Welcome, everybody. Good stuff.
So, I'm actually out of town right now, but I recorded the last portion of this painting. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. It's the same painting that I was working on last time, which I was painting from my imagination. But we're going to be, yeah, that's right. I'm going to be finishing last week's painting, and but it's I hope it will be helpful in a kind of a big picture kind of way, because I make a lot of big design changes to it
Yeah.
in this last session.
Yeah.
So that'll be
So,
fun.
yeah, he recorded, 5 or 6 hours of more work on the painting. So I went ahead and I sped that up to about an hour. So you're going to see all the changes the painting goes through. And it's going to be really cool. So, yeah.
Sweet.
I don't know what you think about that, Jed. I looked at the last one you recorded, and I think there's still a big jump between last week and there. So I think
Okay,
it'd be cool
okay.
to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's totally fine. There's a ton of stuff. It's so what I'm guessing is today will go in the same direction for probably 3/4 of the time. And then the last 15 minutes of it will be all the design changes. I was making small changes along the way,
Mm-hmm.
but they weren't real significant. I kept tweaking. But the thing that I find is that if you don't have a good design, the small tweaks don't really make it work. The color changes that you try to do don't really make the big difference for you. And sometimes you have to take another step back and just go, wait a second. What would make this a better painting?
Yeah.
So that's today, you guys. So
Fantastic.
yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Oh, we also want to just talk a little bit about the masterclass coming up, which is the acrylic landscape workshop. And if you're not registered for that, make sure that you do register for that, because that's going to be one heck of a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Hector, good to see you. Julie, Patricia, Lynn, Jay Williams, Florida Horse Country. All right, I love it. Jane, so good to be together.
Yeah,
guys.
welcome everybody.
Yeah, welcome. So, like we said, we're gonna do that. Because I'm out of my studio, we're not gonna give away a painting today, but we will give away a pair of my favorite brushes today. So yeah. We'll still have a giveaway, and they are the amazing Princeton Aspen brushes that I really have fallen in love with, and so that'll be fun. And we'll talk a little bit about, as we're into this painting, ask your questions. We'll just kind of see how it goes and talk about the painting as much as we need to. But we'll also touch base on the workshop that's starting soon, and make sure that you guys are prepped for that. If you haven't been to it before, just so that you need to do everything. Carol, Linda, Joan,
Stacy, welcome everybody.
Nice.
Linda, so good.
I saw Carol said hi from Canada. Well, hi back to you from Canada, because I'm in Canada right now.
There we go.
It's snow on the ground here. but it's not too cold. Anyways, let's get this rolling, Peter. We can talk over. There's yeah, man, I don't even know where to start, except once we see it on the screen, I'll just kind of try to give you guys a bit of the idea. That was where we left off. And I know I'm already kind of thinking about design stuff. There's a few things to tweak here. But because I know where I'm going with this now, I'm probably not going to talk too much about the design at this stage, because it's just like small improvements. I like parts of this. Oh, what were you saying, Peter?
Oh, I was just gonna say, do you want me to pull up the last one instead, and you can talk about, and we can just go from there, or what do you think?
I mean, probably that would be easier to. It's more where my headspace is, because I don't even like this. Was honestly, guys, I worked on this for so long in between. You know, I told you last week, somebody said, will you finish this painting next week? And I was like, no, I'm going to finish this in between. I'm excited about this. I don't want to wait on this. And so, okay.
All right.
Yeah, so here we go.
Big change. Big change.
So
So this is where we were before. And then
after like 3 more sessions, I got it to here.
5 hours in.
Yeah. This is a long ways in, and I like it more.
Yeah, me too.
You know, I definitely like it more. But
so tell me, Jed, kind of what steered you in this direction? Like, what was kind of going through your head that brought you to this place, and what do you like more about the way that it is now?
Well, there were things in so I opened up some area on the upper left corner. You know, before that it was just filled in there completely, and I felt like that lacked a little that lacked something. So I wanted to see what it would look like, because there was just something static. I don't even know how to describe it, but prior to this, there wasn't even land back there in the back, like earlier. So I added the land. That's way back there. But I think that what I was struggling with was there was a lack of depth in this. It was just kind of, it just felt like there was one kind of universal section of land that was in the middle. And then there was nothing really in front of it. I mean, there are some rocks over on the left that are closer to us, but they don't really provide the counterpoint. And so I just started, what actually happened was I was working on from my imagination this whole time. And up until about now, and I actually started thinking, man, it's hard. I want to like go back and look at some of my old paintings, or look at some different things that I've done, and just see what made other paintings work. And I started thinking, I think that I need a little bit more depth. I need to have some things that will be further in the foreground for us. So the only thing with this, Peter, is this is 2.5 hours itself.
Oh, this video?
Yeah.
Okay.
This video is super long.
Okay.
So
we can jump around then.
We'll probably need to.
Yeah. Do you want me to jump ahead like an hour, or?
Well, I don't know.
Talk some more, jump later.
Yeah, I think what I'm wondering is, can your computer time lapse it? How long does that take?
Oh yeah, I can do that.
Could you?
Yeah.
Because if you could time lapse it to about 50, like even cut out what we're watching right now or whatever, but then just like time lapse it to about 50 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
then we could just see the whole progression. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because there are things, I mean, like I would not want to like miss a part, but what you can see me doing over there on the right is that I'm bringing a tree in, some stuff that's going to be closer to us in the foreground. It doesn't look like it yet because I haven't brought it down on the right side as far as I will, but I'm trying to add a different element of depth to the painting. And really, I'm just grabbing violet. I have dioxazine violet and some black, and I'm just trying to get something that's really dark in the foreground. But I like some of this. Like, I mean, I think that overall the colors are a little bit, they're interesting, but you can see the foreground of the sand is gray. It's a little bit more gray because one of my last attempts was I had so much wild color everywhere that I was trying to bring a little bit more neutral color into it.
Mm-hmm.
But what I end up doing is kind of going back to a little bit more neutral color in the sky, just muting it down a little bit.
What's crazy about the changes you made since last session is that you made the canvas look like 3 times bigger.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah. Like I'm looking back at the live stream from last week, and to me it looks like a smaller canvas visually.
Really?
Yeah. But like you open it up and it has so much more depth now than it did last time. Yeah.
I don't know what it is too. There's something about the shape of that huge rock on the left side that I just kept going, I just don't like this. And I would tweak it and I'd do something.
Yeah.
But again, it's just kind of, painting from imagination is great. And I wanted to do it and I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
But it has its limitations. And one of the limitations is that because I didn't do a design sketch so much at the beginning, I just kind of jumped into the painting, and I probably would have benefited from doing 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 design sketches and then kind of like really nailing a design that I loved. And so what I ended up doing, I think that's why it took me so many times, was I just kept working on a faulty design, trying to tweak it. And until I just went back to the drawing board a little bit and said, what has made other paintings work well?
Mm-hmm.
What has been the thing that really, what has been the thing that really made them good? And then I started using them a little bit to make changes. But Violet, I see, there's no reference for this. It's just my imagination pretty much. And then I end up looking at a few paintings. April, nice to have you here. Pam, Amy. Yeah, I'm painting from my imagination, but then, like I said, at this point, I've started kind of looking at some paintings. And so if you want to go to my website, you're definitely welcome to and see. In fact, you can see the finished painting on there. If you want to head start to see where we're going, I just posted it this morning on my site, but it's quite different. And
yeah, even from where it is now.
Yeah. But the process is starting. I mean, it's just slow. I'm going kind of slow with these. This is actually what I was doing yesterday during our meeting, right, Peter? You know that. Yeah.
Oh, this part right here.
Yeah, I'm
Nice.
this is probably like at the
Uh,
exactly the
yeah,
beginning.
guys, we were at our team meeting
Yeah.
yesterday morning, and Jed goes, "I'm not gonna be on video today. I gotta paint,"
Yeah.
because he had to travel, so he had to
Well, I
make
had
the
to
most of
travel,
his time.
and this is the thing. I'd spent so long on this, and I
Yeah,
just still I had brought it in the night before, thinking, oh, maybe I'm done with it, And I showed it to Renee, and I mean, I was like really kind of in that place where I wanted her to say, "Oh, wow, it's so amazing,"
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And she goes, "Oh, yeah, like it's pretty nice," or something like that.
yeah.
And then she goes, "Wow, that I can't remember what she pointed at. That line is kind of crazy, isn't it?" Or actually, I think it might have been the night before. I don't remember. I had this other weird water thing in here that it had this curve to it and stuff. And anyways, it's just been like this journey.
Yeah,
And so I was desperate to get more done with it.
yeah, yeah, makes sense. You were, I heard somebody refer to loving art like a parasite because once you start it, you can't stop, or you'll like start a project, and if you're not happy with it, it just keeps bugging you until you finish it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's what's so funny is, then you have people who ask, how long does it take to paint a painting? To
Yeah,
paint. And it's just so it's so random. It could be, I mean, I paint some paintings very quickly, and they all go it all goes according to plan.
right.
That's pretty rare though, right? I mean, see, this is where I'm starting to go, okay, I need to pull this forward. I'm trying to bring that bottom,
Mm-hmm.
the land a little bit closer, so that it hopefully will make sense with the rest of the painting.
All
But
right. Oh, go ahead.
oh yeah, you got it?
Yeah, I have the time lapse.
Okay, cool, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's
Let's
do that one. So
yeah.
this will maybe look a little faster once we get this thing going, but it will.
Yeah. We'll get there quicker, and I'll jump
Yeah,
forward a
it'll get
little
there
bit.
quicker. Yeah,
There we go.
perfect.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so yeah, I'm pulling that foreground forward. Thank you so much for doing that, Peter. I really
Yeah, no problem.
appreciate that. Yeah, but for sure, it's a little bit like a parasite on the mind, right?
Yeah.
That's a bad way of saying it. It's like an unfinished problem, I think is
Uh-huh.
what it is. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember Amy saying this, but she said one time I was talking with her, and she said every painting is just a problem to be solved.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
was like, that's good, man. It's a
It's
problem to be
accurate.
solved. That's what makes it so fun.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Elaine says it looks entirely different from the end of last week. Well, it'll still look a lot different. Just give
So
us
cool.
45 minutes here, and you'll see
Yeah.
that essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to totally change that big hill on the left. I'm going to add a waterway. I'm going to bring more color and kind of shape the land with more I don't even know, with a little bit more color. Every time you make a change, you have to make it work in other parts of the painting, right? So you'll see me
Mhm.
adding the background in and things like that.
Yeah. I feel like, even as you guys are gonna see, even the overall like colors of the painting, I feel like change.
Oh, they
Like
do.
just the read of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the painting gets more I feel like right now it's a little bit cosmic. It's
Uh-huh.
like I don't mind green in the
That's
sky,
a
but
good point.
that
Yeah.
that green is a little bit strong.
Uh-huh.
And it's actually a pretty dark sky. That was one of the things that I realized as I was working on this at this time. I'm like, man, the sky could be lightened up a lot, and I
Uh-huh.
think it would help the overall painting. There's some of that green. This is where I start shaping the land more. I'm like, I need to break this huge hill up more, and and not just have it be a big mound. I think it just looks too weird right now. So yeah, you need a
Really
deer on
cool.
the top of the cliff smoking and greeting the morning. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. And Carrie says, I love the greenish sky. I mean, I like it. And I think that in a different, if maybe if the design had completely worked from the beginning, if some of the shapes were better, I wouldn't mess with the sky so much. But I feel as if there was so much to do with the overall painting that I just ended up feeling like it was easier to change the sky too. And then
Right.
this is a Patricia asks how big is this painting, and it is a 16 by 16. Yeah, that's oh my goodness, that's so funny. Suzanne says, "What a difference it makes when you broke up that mountain on the left." That's hilarious because it's not supposed to be a mountain, but it probably looked
Uh,
like a mountain. Oh
uh,
man, yeah, feasible. You can come back later. Just make sure you know to go to youtube.com/Jed Dorsey. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and you won't miss anything.
yeah.
And you'll be able to catch any of these replays later. Yeah. So, and here's the deal, guys. I think Peter is putting in here every once in a while the link. If you have not registered for the acrylic landscape workshop, we're going to be doing that starting next Monday. Just what is that, 5 days from now?
Yep.
So it's going to be super fun, and you're going to learn a ton. Probably not from me, but from Diana.
Nah, don't say
Just joking. No,
that.
no, it's going to be great. We're going to look at trees, water, and atmosphere. Three really important and pretty universal aspects of a landscape. If you want to go anywhere in the world, like there's usually trees, unless you're in Las Vegas. I have to say that we were in Las Vegas last week. We were looking
Mhm.
around and we're like, there were palm trees in the city, but when you're flying in, you're going, whoa,
Yeah.
there's nothing out there, man.
Certain parts of Arizona are like that too.
Yeah. Sharon asks, how much time do you spend on average with that size painting? And Sharon, that's a really funny, good question. We were just kind of talking about that, and I said, this size painting, I mean, honestly, I probably painted a 16 by 16 and been really happy with it. I would say 2 hours. I've painted this size and been really happy with it. See, here's where I'm coming in with a lighter color for the sky. This one, I don't even know exactly how long. It was a long time because
Yeah.
I was probably an hour in before we started last week. Then I was another hour and 15 minutes or something. And then I don't know how many sessions there. I wasn't it 6 sessions, Peter? Wasn't the last one number 6?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't
So
have all 6, I don't think, but I had
no, because I
4 of them.
didn't. The one of them was last week's session, and then I had another one before that. I recorded all of them, but they're just, oh my gosh, man. Um, the middle sections were the ones that were really long and belabored and not doing that many good things.
Yeah, yeah.
But so again, yeah, this one probably 10 hours. I don't know, just guessing. Let's see. Ruth I love watching you paint and work out your problems. Thanks. I'm glad. So see how much lighter that color is I'm putting in where those clouds are? That it's kind of like a violet color. It's a little bit pinkish violet compared, but it's way lighter. And that was me just thinking, man, can I work within a lighter range of value and yet have a different hue? So I have more of a blue color for the sky where there aren't, quote, clouds, and then I'm putting in that more of a violet color where I want clouds to be, but I just wanted it to have a lighter feel. And I saw Lori says all this 5 sky layers are so cool. Yeah, I mean, probably because you're saying like it goes up, the gradation going up. And I still try to keep some of the gradation as it goes down towards the sun. It's just going to be a lot lighter, and I'm working within a smaller range of value. But I think that skies are really fun. I'm kind of enjoying the idea of keeping the values closer. I think that that's kind of a fun way to paint. Is the class next week this advanced? No, it's not this advanced. This is just me painting for my own sake.
Good question.
Yeah. And I mean, let's think about this, Peter. What the first one is the tree. If you want to come in, let me just see who asked that.
Jen Champagne.
Okay, Jen, we have a total beginner course that you can access. Actually, if you register for the workshop, you can access the beginner course, and I mean, you can access it through our website anyways. It's there. It's available. It's free. It's a really great starting place and will help you feel like you can participate in the workshop. And you'll understand, where what I'm talking about, like at least the basic things. So I would love to, see you try that out and see what you think. Cause that was an area that we really have worked on to say, how can we help people who feel intimidated by maybe some of these, paintings or lessons that are not necessarily like super advanced, but they're just a little bit intimidating.
For sure. And it's also super short too. Like literally gives you a complete foundation for working with acrylics. Like everything else that we do builds off of the stuff in there, and it's less than 2 hours. So
yeah,
it's a killer course. Doable before Monday for sure.
Yeah. You can see me adding some color in here, Peter, right? Like I'm starting to bring in a little bit more orange and yellow into those colors because we're again working with that gradation. Oh, thanks, Kristen. Kristen says Jed's beginner's course really is a good starting place. Yeah, that was a fun one, Peter, man. Me and Peter put that, we made that course a couple of Octobers ago. I feel like or fall. It was sometime in the fall.
Yep.
We just go, man, we need this beginner course. You know what, Peter? I don't know what you think about this. Maybe I should ask you this privately.
You can shoot me a text or
okay,
private chat or something.
I'll do that. Oh, cool, man. Send you a text.
Sounds good.
Oh, link to Jed's beginner course. Let's see. I'm going to just tell you where you can find it on, let's see, beginner course. Okay.
I'll throw it in there a few times, guys.
Oh, shoot. We don't have oh yeah, man. We need to put the link to the actual beginner course on the dashboard, because it just has that one video on there still.
Oh, really?
On this one, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll need to go update that after.
Yeah.
But I
can do
dropped
that.
yeah, I've dropped it in there a few times, guys, and beginner course. Just another one just in case. Might do a couple more times later. But yeah, that thing is awesome. Had a lot of fun putting that together.
Yeah. It's a good one. Okay, I'm going to add this. We're double. Actually, Peter, can you oh, here we go. There we go. Never mind. I'm going to add that to the dashboard here. Yeah, guys, let us know if you have any questions here on the live stream, anything going on. I'm basically just working my way down towards the sun, trying to make the cohesive values yet light or warming up the sky colors. So even in some of these places where there's clouds, I've added a bit of orange. Now, orange and violet are they're not exactly complementary, because yellow and violet are exactly opposite of each other on the color wheel, and therefore they mute each other in the sense that they make it becomes a little bit more gray. But orange and violet act similarly, because it's going to make it a little bit more gray, less violet. So you can see it's doing that in those areas, but it's also kind of warming it up a bit, making it a little bit more sun affected. How would you describe your style of painting? Ali asks. Oh man, that's a good question, because I paint different styles. I feel a little bit like I usually call it impressionism, but I don't actually think that it's impressionism really. It is kind of in that it's not photorealistic, and I don't want to paint that way, but I don't know. You just kind of paint and it just becomes what it is. Now, Ginny asked this question: why do you like the lighter blue for the sky than before? I like it generally for this painting because the painting's pretty dark, actually, when you think about like all the trees. A lot of the foreground is pretty dark. I lighten it up some as we go, but it's still gonna be a dramatic change, like difference between that and the sky. And so some of the sky, at least up towards the top, it was mid-tone, and I like a painting that has I like paintings that are lighter. I tend to, because I paint on black quite a bit, sometimes my paintings can tend to be pretty dark. It takes a bit of effort to bring all the values up to a really light value. And so I'm kind of aware that I need to sometimes exaggerate that. And sometimes I still think that I have room to make my paintings higher key. That means lighter generally. So I think that's probably part of it. Um, I think that this painting, the sky ends up being. I like the way that the sky ends up. I think that it works. I think that it ties together okay, and I think it's a little less crazy without the really saturated green in there. And overall, I think that it helps. It works a little bit better because then I can add some more color to the foreground, which I do later. So I don't know if that totally answers your question, but that's what I'm kind of thinking about in this. Surf Diva says, I'm odd watching how the feel of the sky is changing. Watching you repaint the sky is a good reminder to myself one is never stuck with acrylics. Anything can be repainted and changed. And that's totally, totally true. I mean, this painting has so many layers of paint on it. And if you could see it up close, you'd see, oh wow, there's all these different brush marks underneath other brush marks. And I don't mind that. I actually kind of like the texture sometimes, but yeah, you're never stuck with acrylics, and that's one of the beauties of it is just going, man, like I mean, I still change a lot more on this over to the left on that big rock and things. There's still a lot of changes, and yeah, it's just what do you want to do? Where do you want to go with it? And that's really nice. I'm never really worried that it's wet. Every once in a while I want to change something that's still wet and I have to wait a little bit, but for the most part it dries so fast that if I want to make a change, I just go ahead and start working on that. Yeah, it was very dramatic before for sure. The sky is more, it was more like a dramatic sunset before. It's a little bit more muted now.
Oh, this is an interesting question. In some of the videos, you and Diana and Brian recommend stopping sooner than later to avoid overworking or losing the freshness of the original composition. Why did you decide to keep going?
Oh, because I didn't like the composition.
There you go.
That's if I had a good composition, that would have been a good thought. But my problem was that every time I looked at the composition, like the painting, I would go, man, this composition it's just not working.
Yeah.
And so you have to go back to the drawing board a lot more. It's impressionism inspired. Yeah, that could be I don't know. It's funny. It's funny though. I mean, there's principles in art that are really really good. I always love those ideas, and I love the way that Diana talks about it. It's not a rule, it's a tool. You know, don't be so set on, oh, I have to do it this way because so and so said I need to do it this way. No, you need to. Your job is to make a good painting, as good as you can, where you're at in your art journey. That's all. And so my job, that's my job. So any rule it's a tool, and it just goes. That's why, for the first first whatever 80% of this painting, I didn't look at anything. I was just going from my imagination. But at some point I realized that I needed to grab a few ideas from successful paintings that I'd done before, or design ideas, like what's wrong with this, and could I add something what would be helpful. And so I looked at a couple things. One of them, I realized that I could lighten the sky. that was actually where I got the idea. I was like, man, I think that the sky, I think I'd like it better if the sky was a little bit lighter, and kind of worked with values that are close to each other. So that was one idea. Then I got the idea of bringing the foreground on the right a little bit closer, adding a little bit more over there to offset. So it's not just, oh, there's a bunch of stuff on the left side and there's nothing really on the right side. And then I got this other idea that, which I still haven't done, but I was thinking, okay, I can shape some of this land a little bit more, and I already had, I don't know if it was from last week. I can't remember if I had it in here last week, but I had a water, like a stream of water coming towards us off the bottom of the canvas. But I had just gone through kind of recently, and I had erased it because it wasn't working. The shape of it was really bad. But I went back and I saw another painting that had a waterway, and I thought, man, I think I should have that in here, but I just need to do it better than I did last time. So what I'm saying is that I went as far as I could with just my imagination. But when it didn't work completely for me, I turned to some visual things that would help me, old paintings, other design ideas, and I just thought, okay, let's put some of these into place here. And I think I'm glad. Okay, I see Kristen asked, what size is your brush? Right now it's a number, I believe that's a number 12 flat. Jedism. Fiona says, I thought we already decided it was called Jedism. Yeah, that's what's funny, is that I feel like other people have a better sense sometimes for what style you have than you do yourself. How many days a week or a month do you paint on average? Hannah, that's a good question. And it really, I would say week to week, it changes a lot. Just because there's some weeks that, I mean, like this week, I'm actually out of town most of the week. I have paints here, and I'll probably get to do some painting, but it won't be as much as if I was in my studio without any other projects. So it depends. For next week, can alizarin crimson, rose madder, or azo deep red be subbed for the permanent rose? If so, which one is better? Dana, you can use any of those reds. Alizarin crimson, I don't know rose madder or azo red deep. So I honestly don't know, but I think that you could use any of those and it would be fine. And that's normally what we say, because
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Having the exact colors is not the main thing. Having one of each primary is a really good idea, just because you're going to be mixing everything anyways. Maria, see ya. I see she got busy, had to go back to work. Judy says, just found you about a month ago. Love your style. Thanks, Judy. Appreciate that.
Hey, Jed, do you think we should jump ahead a little bit? I think it's about halfway through, so we got like 30 minutes left of this. It's up to you, though.
I'm just looking at the timer. 28. Yeah, I will jump ahead a little bit.
Yeah, go for it.
One thing I decided to do in this was I didn't really like the reflections. Again, this was looking at other paintings, and so I just kind of decided I was going to get rid of most of the reflections and add more of the light, the reflected light down there. So you can see I did that. And yeah, so the other main thing I did is I added that waterway.
Yeah.
I cut that through.
I think that's really good too. It like ties you into the rest of the composition.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Okay, I'm thinking, Peter, we should. Okay. I'm going to do something here real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to go to our site. I'm going to go to the page where we have the beginner course on here, and I'm going to add a button to go directly to that. Okay. Let's go like this. Perfect.
Sweet. Let me know when you're done with that. I'll pull up a couple questions.
Okay.
Ginny, who is Nightbot? That's our bot. He's our moderator friend. He helps us put links in there and stuff like that.
Okay, I'm done. I can answer any question now. Yep, I put that beginner course on there, so the real one will pop up now. So that's good. Okay.
Okay, just respond to that.
Rules can be broken. Yes, that has definitely been my problem. Amy says trying to follow rules has squelched what's come naturally to me. Yeah, it's so funny, right? Because there are principles and we need to learn. And I think that there's stuff that I still need to learn really bad. But there's a quote by Robert Gann, and it says something like, it says learn and always grow, something like that, like become a master, but he says guard your original
Whoa, guys. I think Jed just lost internet or something like that because he just dropped out of the studio. So I can't answer any painting related questions, but I can answer questions about the masterclass and stuff like that. Oh, looks like he's back. He's back.
What happened?
You vanished into the ether, bro.
What?
You vanished into the ether.
I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good.
What was I saying? Because did you hear anything?
Yeah, you said you were referring to the comment about trying to follow the rules has squelched what comes naturally to me.
Okay, so Robert Gann has this quote that says something like, it basically says grow, mature, get better at what you're doing. But he says guard your original naivety. He's saying, like, there's another quote. He says that it's better to be an enthusiastic amateur than a jaded professional. And I really love that, right? I mean, it's better to be excited and not really know what you're doing, but you're just going at it, than to just go through the motions, and everything's very rote, and, like, that's boring, man. That's never going to access like who you really are. And you can see now, this is where I come and I actually bring a lot of more change to the shape of those hills. Okay. I see somebody ask where that. I'm going to just put this in here, Peter. The landscapeworkshop.com. If you go to the landscapeworkshop.com, there's a tab there that says beginner course, and you can just click on the beginner course and it will take you exactly there. Peter put it in there, I think too, but just in case.
Sweet. Thanks, Jed.
Yeah. Okay. What were your questions that you had for me?
Yeah, this person says, speaking of paint colors, I've been just using primaries this past year, 3 cool, 3 warm. I would like to add a few more colors now. What would you recommend, Jed?
Did you star that one?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, Suzanne Myth.
Okay. I think that it totally depends on what you like to paint in terms of adding more colors. Diana has 3 sets of primaries that she uses. So you could consider doing something like that. What I have found is that there are some times when I just like to grab colors that they're cheating colors in a way. It's, a color that it's very similar to a color that I would like to use all the time in lots of different paintings. Like maybe there's a light blue color. It's not pure pigment, it's a mix of white and a pigment or something like that. Mm-hmm. But every once in a while I'll grab those kind of colors they're just because I think, well, you know what? I might use this in a big sky, and I might use these 3 colors. And so I just grab those 3 colors that I know I'm going to use more than if I have to mix it, right? So that's one option. Another thing that I usually do is I have some kind of earthy colors, kind of for the same reason. Like I use Vancouver gray, which is just a warmer gray. I have, some burnt siennas and, umbers and different colors like that, yellow oxide, things like that, that again, it might just get me one step closer to a color of grass or something like that I want. But I honestly, it's hard for me to give you the exact colors because I don't really know what you would want to be painting. But I tend to just choose some colors that will lean in a direction or be one easier step for me. Like I don't have to mix that as far. I don't have to start with ultramarine blue and then mix white in and then mix my phthalo green, because I have this other color that's already 80% of the way there. That's what I do with those extra colors usually. Like on the palette here, you can see I have a cadmium orange type color. It's actually cadmium yellow deep, but it looks like a cadmium orange to me. It's very deep. And so that's an extra color. It's like a color in the middle there. But I find that I tend to use that color quite a bit. So a lot of times if I'm just painting on my own, I'll add the cadmium orange because I like it. And then down underneath the red, there's I think that color is called, oh man, it's primary magenta or something like that. I can't remember for sure. It's magenta something or other. And but it's kind of a neat color to have. So again, I don't know what you would like, but I would find colors that you really enjoy or you use quite a bit, or your paintings, like whatever your scene is, like what you like to paint, that it would be an easy one to just add. I think I'm adding some of the, gotta change my lighting here real quick. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm bringing in more of the color and the variation to this bottom section now. And this is what I was talking about before, where earlier I had painted a lot of that neutral gray. And it was a big reason I had done that was because the sky was so crazy colorful that I didn't really feel like I had the room to add color down there. But now that the sky's a little bit more normal, I feel like there's a little bit of, I can add those different colors down there and it'll be interesting. And Pam, I see you. You said, I looked ahead. The final picture is gorgeous, but I really liked the green earlier. And that's totally fine. That's why everybody has their own painting in front of them and you can do exactly what you want. Yeah. Amy says, I know this is acrylic university, but I have a question. I've seen some artists paint with water soluble oils over acrylic for luminosity. What are your thoughts on that? Well, I don't have any thoughts on the luminosity part, but I would say that one artist I know, she will put titanium white down and then she'll use a color like Indian yellow. That is a transparent yellow. And she loves how that translucent color on top of white looks maybe more vibrant and golden and beautiful than if it was an opaque color. So that could be done in acrylic paint as well as oil. But you definitely can paint water soluble oils or normal oils over acrylic paints. Janice, really like this picture. This video popping up today was so timely. Needed the refresh today. Thanks. Yeah, you're welcome, Janice.
It's awesome.
Glad you're here. Yeah, let's see. Somebody, let me just see here. Donna says, I love that everything isn't blended to death. Your style is uplifting. That's actually one thing that in a few of my recent paintings, I've been doing a little bit more. I've been trying to make the paintings a little bit cleaner, if that's the right way to say it. Just not as many arbitrary brush marks. And that's why even in the sky, I left a lot of the skies, they're almost like little sections. They're not really blended together that much. And that's part of my thought process was how to make it feel a little bit like a cleaner idea. Now, what's funny, you guys can't see this right now, but I had so many brushes in them, like going at the same time. I probably was holding 4 brushes in my hand, and I had another 3 or 4 brushes like sitting off to the side, and all of them were various colors and mixes. And the reason I'm saying that is because you can't see it too much right now, but the one that I was just using had dried a little bit when I was holding it in my hand. And so when I was putting it down, the brush marks were they were kind of I don't know how to say it. They were hard. It's like there were little lumpy things on the paintbrush. So it didn't provide a really clean edge, but it didn't really matter. Yeah, I think it's almost a little bit stylized for sure. This wasn't, no, actually, Kimberly, this is an acrylic painting demo, not an oil painting demo.
Yep. We're firm believers in acrylics around here.
I read that if one is going to use acrylic as an underpainting for oils, wait 3 days to make certain that the acrylic is completely dry, and remember thin layers of acrylics. Yeah, that's probably good. Good advice would be to just make sure that the acrylics are dry, and maybe if you're waiting 3 days, you're probably making sure that they're cured, because they'll dry to the touch in half an hour, but they probably take a while to cure. And I guess it depends how thick the paint is, and also how what's the word, how thick the paint is, but also if you're using golden opens or something like that, or some kind of retarder, it will slow it down. But doesn't that look better? I mean, come on. I
So
think
much
that,
better. I love it.
yeah, I think that I don't know, the shape of the hill on the left. I liked it so much better.
Yeah, the little grass and stuff at the front as well. And it's like
Yeah,
so black. It's so black.
yeah. And this is where, again, I'm adding a little bit more color to the foreground, kind of to contrast with the orange and the yellow. Let's see. Are there any other? Okay, let's see. Can you reiterate the guidelines for selling or exhibiting artwork from AU masterclasses? I was trying to find that in the student portal, and I couldn't. I have a local cafe that wants to exhibit my art. So generally, the way you need to think about this is we actually have different artists on Acrylic University, and sometimes artists have slightly different takes on it. So you really need to try to, I'm going to say something that will be my own perspective. And we have some general rules, but every once in a while we have artists who have slightly different takes on it. So if you're wanting to use somebody other than me, make sure that you're following up with them. As far as my stuff is concerned, you are going to be, this is just generally, you're going to be best off learning to the point that you can paint your own paintings, and you will not have to worry about copyright or anything like that. When you use somebody else's work, you're following along with them, you're copying everything they're doing as closely as you can. You are learning, and you can, if it's my work, what we've said is that you have the right to sell it privately. We don't recommend putting it into a gallery or into a show, or absolutely you don't want to put it into a competition or anything like that, because it's not your work. It's not your design. It's not your really, it's not your creation as much as it's a copy of somebody else's creation. And therefore it's a short-term way of being, in a way, right? Like you can sell it. You want to give credit to the original artist. There's a proper way. If you follow the rule to the letter, there's a proper way to sign it. There's a lot of details there. But as far as my work, I'm not worried about people using paintings that they did from a class of mine and selling them. I want to support artists in any way that I can, but I also want people to give credit where it should be given, and to not try to manipulate the system in some way that's weird, right? And I think most people are really honest and upright, and that's why I don't worry about it. And even the fact that you're asking the question, shows that. So I don't worry about that. But you just want to be smart. Like, and again, with things like a competition or a gallery, you just don't want people to think something that isn't accurate, because it will come back and bite you later. Like there's just, I've heard stories about things that are so awkward and weird, and you just want to be like really upfront and honest about stuff. So that's my generalization on it. You probably wanted something maybe that was more specific, but that's what I can give you. Terry asks, what are your favorite Princeton brushes? The Aspen are my favorite. Amy, I didn't mean to diss the idea of acrylics. Don't worry. I'm not worried about that.
Just random question, Jed. Are Aspens similar to catalysts?
Aspens are similar to catalysts, but they hold their shape better for longer.
Gotcha.
That's what I've come to find. And so I've changed, and I now recommend Catalyst Aspen over Catalyst.
Cool.
Even though Catalyst are awesome brushes too, like it's like 1A and 1B, but just for the durability and the long-term use, I think Aspen are better. Donna says, what is your opinion of using acrylic instead of oil? I've used only oil. Well, I only use acrylic pretty much, and I love it. I have painted in oil before, but I like acrylic better. Do you ever paint with golden open paints, and do they work? Leslie, yes. I don't really use them because I don't have as much of a need for that. But if I was going somewhere, like one time I was painting in New Mexico, and I used them because it was so dry there that it was helpful. And I know quite a few different artists who use them, but I like the thickness of the heavy body paints more than I like the long open time of the golden opens. Violet, yeah, I mean, the other part of that is, because I see you say makes sense. I think it feels better to me to keep AU pieces as private studies. I'm not trying to discourage you from doing it, but here's one thing that I would say that would maybe be helpful for you is, like, as different artists progress, sometimes what they'll do is they will look for their own reference photo that is similar to something that I might be painting from. And if you can do that, and so you could follow along with a scene, but you could paint your own scene out of it and use the style, use the ideas, use the colors, use the format, like that kind of thing, then you're 100% free. Or if you can make enough significant changes that you would feel good about calling the painting your own, then you're good. You know, Patricia, I saw the Aspen brushes at Michael's, but they were listed as oil brushes. But those are the same ones you are using, right? As long as they have that little blue, they're black and they have a little blue ring around them, it should be the same. Okay. This is fun.
Yeah.
And this painting is done.
All right.
And I was going to direct you guys to my site if you were interested, if anyone was interested in buying it, but it actually already sold this morning. So,
yeah. Saw that.
Yeah.
That's his website, though. If you are interested in, keep an eye out for future pieces or just want to look through some of his work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. So any questions, make sure I still use Catalyst brushes because I have some still. I just have been using more Aspen as the ones wear out. Okay, and we have we're going to give away, speaking of those Princeton Aspen brushes, we're going to give away.
Yes, we are.
A pair of those. So, Peter, you want to show that banner?
Yeah.
How they can do that?
Yeah, guys, if you haven't yet, be sure to text that number. We already have. Let me go see. I can pull it up here. We already have 112. Yep, 112.
Okay, cool.
Participants. So we'll give a little bit of time to still jump in there and do that and win some brushes.
Sweet. Yeah, no, super fun to hang out. And so basically for next week for the landscape workshop, if you're participating in that, make sure you register, join the Facebook group, and all you need maybe 5 tubes of paint. You want white, black, and 1 blue, 1 red, 1 yellow. If you have that, you will be able to participate. You don't need a bunch of fancy things. You'll just need to use what you have. And you probably want to have 3 man, why am I talking about this? I'm just going to send people to the page because there's a supply list here.
There we go.
So let's see.
Can't wait in the Facebook group already. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait either, guys. It's going to be fun.
So click that link there. That'll take you to the supplies and it will give you a list of everything you need. But basically you want to have 3 canvases, and trying to think of the sizes. You can make it work with pretty much anything. I mean, we've had people go through the workshops and they are using something like paper. I mean, we had a woman, do you remember this, Peter? I don't know if you do or not, but we had a woman who was in France or Spain, and something had happened where I think it might have been during COVID. They couldn't access normal art stores. They were just kind of stuck in this place, and they were using cardboard.
Yeah.
And they were using fabric that they had, like canvas fabric, or they were just finding a way to be involved and paint and be creative. It was so cool. It was very inspiring for me. So I know that if you have the will, there's a way for you. There is. But again, we have the supplies there.
Yeah, we've seen people paint on saw blades. That's one that stands out in my head a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Diana tells a story of how when, she couldn't afford a lot of art supplies, she went to the dollar store and got food coloring. And she made some stuff with food coloring.
Yeah.
So where there's a will, there's a way. Okay, so somebody asks, Peter, is the atmosphere photo the same as used for a different class?
Yeah, the atmosphere photo is that lesson is the same lesson as we did in June of like 2 years ago. It was kind of our trial run of the landscape format. So that is one lesson that if you were if you participated 2 years ago, it is that one. But I did do a master, I don't know what we called it, from good to great session on it.
Yes.
If you sign up to be a VIP, you'll see this extra session where I took it from demo to masterpiece. And these paintings that are in that VIP, I actually don't even think I really spelled this out on the sales page. I don't think I ever really added this in, but those paintings, both of them sold in, like, no joke, less than 1 minute. I posted them and within 30 seconds or something like that, they were sold.
Yeah.
And that was what I was hoping for, honestly, because I wanted to let you guys know, man, what takes a painting from something that's okay to something that makes people really want to make a purchase.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's what this lesson was really about too, is design is what makes the difference. And some of the little details that take it from average to, oh wow, oh yeah, that one really strikes me. And sometimes it's not always you know, like, sometimes you have to watch that, because it's hard to describe it sometimes, because it's a little bit like, yeah, you just kind of, you need to know. Somebody said it before, do you stop before you're done? Like, where's that stopping point? That's really what this is about. The VIP Betsy is when you registered for the landscape workshop, there's a VIP option there after you register that you can sign up for. It's an optional thing. You don't have to sign up for, but I think it's $97, and it gives you access to a few different teachings, or 2 different teachings, a live Q&A with me and Diana, I think, and I can't remember everything, but it's just a little bonus session, a few bonus sessions there.
Yep. Lots of good value. Okay, I think
let's do this. Let's give away 2 brushes.
Pick a winner. All right, let's see who are the winners. Betty Pinto.
All right.
Congratulations. Oh, we have another winner? Do we have another winner?
We have 1 winner.
Or I thought so. I was like,
yeah. 1 winner, 2 brushes. 2 brushes, 1 winner. So Betty, are you going to type her name in?
Yeah.
Cool.
Betty Pinto, and I'm also going to shoot her a text.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. And yeah, make sure you send us let's see. I'm going to see if I can find this.
Woo! Congrats, Betty.
Congratulations. Here we go. If you want, email us at support@acrylicuniversity.com so that we can get your address and we can send those brushes to you.
Yes.
Guys, next week is going to be super fun, very inspiring. We're looking forward to it. It's a lot of work when we put them on, but it's work it's a blessing to be able to do it.
Yeah. Always worth it.
We look forward to it.
Yeah. Love you guys. We will see you next week.
Hey, thank you so much, Peter, for making this happen.
Yeah, of course.
Making that video a time lapse for me. Really appreciate you.
Yeah, of course.
All right, love you guys. You're loved and believed in.
Bye.
We'll see you next week. Bye.